2023 coming to a close, now is about the time that people look back on the year to reflect on all its highs and lows. Around this time of year, some of my favorite content is people making the top 5 or 10 lists of their favorite and least favorite video games and movies, so I wanted to try to do some of those for my channel. I know we still technically got a month for releases, but I've been trying to look ahead and I feel pretty confident I won't be making any changes to this list. Sorry, Sonic Dream Team. Who knows, I could be wrong. The day before could somehow bang, we'll see. If by chance I did feel the need to make a change, we'll make a whole video solely for that.
How about that?
We're going to keep things simple around here and probably just limit it to a top 5s list. Starting out here today, we're going to be going over my top 5 best games of 2023, and next week we'll be going over the top 5 worst games of 2023. I want to preface by saying this is obviously just my opinion. You might absolutely hate every single title I'm about to list off here, and that's all good, big dog. I mean, it just be like that sometimes. I definitely missed some pretty big titles for various reasons, such as Baldur's Gate or Diablo or Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, so we won't be seeing any of those on this list anywhere. But hey, if anything, that's better because everybody already knows they did well, and now they're not going to be hogging up all the space on the list. Also, for anybody keeping track around here, this channel is still pretty new, so I don't really have good in-game footage for some of these older titles, but by the time we do this again next year though, that shouldn't be a problem. Alright, I'm done talking, let's just get right into it with my top 5 best games of 2023. Starting at number 5, we have Battlebit Remastered. Battlebit released at the beginning of the summer in June, and kind of completely took over Steam for a while. This game was massive right out of the gate. If you haven't played for yourself, Battlebit is a mix between Squads and Battlefield, with milsim tactical shooter gameplay and a highly destructive map. Not gonna lie, I've never really been into games like Squads or Battlefield, simply because I wasn't a big fan of the ground war kind of modes and lobbies with 20 people on one team, but I've gotta say, this game straight up bangs, and I had a lot of fun playing it. Battlebit cut all the crap of newer game releases and just gave people exactly what they wanted from a game like this in the simplest way. It's also worth noting that this game was created by an indie team with only 3 developers, and there's an insane amount of content in here from classes, weapons, maps, modes, you name it. I mean, they straight up knocked it out of the park with this one. It's really impressive the kind of work they were able to do on their own, and fans of Battlefield were going crazy over this thing because it looked like a game mode in Roblox, and yet it was almost everything they could have wanted from DICE, and way cheaper than a premium $60 AAA title. This game came out before I was doing my video stuff, so I don't really have much gameplay to show, but this is definitely one of my most enjoyable multiplayer experiences of the year. Next at number 4, we have Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Jedi Survivor released at the end of April, and now I do just want to mention that your boy is a straight up fanboy over some Star Wars. I mean, I love that shit, so call this bias or whatever you want, but this was a really fun action-adventure game, and a huge improvement from the last installment in the series. I do want to mention that this game had some pretty massive performance issues on launch for PC, which is always terrible and definitely not a good look for the game, but I actually played this on my Xbox Series S and it worked great for the entire time. I never had any issues, so my experience wasn't tainted by all that. Besides just the performance though, I mean, this game was a huge step up in every way. There's way more classes, perks, gadgets, customize options, you name it. And the story felt a lot longer this time around too. There's a ton of content in here to explore for the price. The gameplay is very reminiscent of Assassin's Creed or Dark Souls, but what mainly sets this game apart is the attachment to Star Wars. It doesn't matter what kind of game people are into, they'll play it just because of the world it's set in. They definitely don't just bank on the brand completely carrying everything though. If they stripped it from the title and swapped out all the Star Wars assets, it would still be a really good game at its core. But all the eye candy stuff like lightsabers, blasters, and Darth Vader do elevate it, especially for a fan such as myself. Overall, Star Wars are not really fun game, and I highly recommend checking it out. Next at number 3, we have Starfield. Starfield released at the beginning of September, and according to the developers, Bethesda Game Studios, this project was over 25 years in the making, and their most ambitious project yet. We actually have a review for this title up on the channel, so if you're curious in a more in-depth talk on the game, make sure to check that out. But overall, this game was a really enjoyable RPG, and I feel like Bethesda delivered on the promises they gave. There was a lot of speculation on how they would pull off the scope of the playable world with over 100 different explorable planets, but for what you get, I think it fully works. You're realistically not going to visit every planet in a single run anyways, but even still, there's enough going on in general and on the main planets that keep the game fresh and intriguing. Put simply, if you're a fan of Bethesda games such as Fallout or Skyrim, then you'll definitely enjoy what they got put together here. I could also see this game creating new fans for Bethesda in general if this was the first title from them that someone plays. Next at number 2, we have Remnant 2. Remnant 2 released at the end of July, and I gotta say, I didn't play the first Remnant 2 at all. I didn't even know this game existed, but wow, playing this made me want to go back and play the old one just for more content. This game is actually what made me want to finally get around to creating videos too. I know I don't have any Remnant 2 content up on the channel, but hey, it's the thought that counts, you know? Remnant 2 is a third-person action role-playing game where you can play solo or co-op to fight your way through various dungeons and bosses. This game is very similar to Destiny in every way besides PvP, that's not available here. But everything from level design, character classes, and weapons draw huge similarities. This game is overall just a really enjoyable campaign-style experience. There's countless different ways each level changes that keeps the experience fresh, and all the actual gun/mechanical play feels really good and responsive. There's honestly not too much to say about this one. If you like shooting guns, fighting bosses, and leveling up skill trees, all with a friend if you wanted, then this is a great game for you, and I highly recommend checking it out. Finally, we have made it to our top #1 best game of 2023. This took quite a bit of consideration. I tried to factor in different things, mainly the review scale and my personal playtime in each game. Some people might say this is a bit of recency bias, since this is one of my more recent reviews, but at our top #1 game of the year, we have Robo Quest. Now yes, this was just my very last review, but holy hell, you have not lived until you have tried this game. I got Robo Quest less than a month ago, and have already racked up around 75 hours playtime in it. It's got me straight up hooked like no other game on this list has had me hooked. For those of you who don't know, Roboquest is an FPS roguelite, and roguelites are notorious for damn near infinite replayability. You can play this game 1,000 times over with the same class and still never have the same exact experience. It's truly impressive how fresh each run can feel. And everything about this game just feels so crisp and fluid, and it would be criminal not to mention the absolutely incredible sound design for each level. Each soundtrack is so distinct and gets you straight cracked out while playing. The only time I've noticed a soundtrack getting me more invested in the game like this was Doom. It's straight up Doom level headbanging greatness. All in all, I don't have anything but good things to say about this title, and I highly recommend checking it out if you have a PC. Like I mentioned a second ago too, I posted a review for this game like not even 2 weeks ago, so if you're interested in a more in-depth talk, make sure to check that out. So that's gonna about do it here for the list today. All of these games I honestly can't recommend enough. They're all really fun gaming experiences, whether you're by yourself or with friends. I also wanted to apologize for not having in-game footage for most of the titles on the list. That'll definitely be something that's fixed for next year's video. Next week we'll be doing a top 5 worst games of 2023 list, so be on the lookout for that if you're interested. If there's any changes you would have made, go ahead and drop them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a like and subscribe for more content like this. This has been Lunar, and welcome to Bound.